Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
They're not wrong. The child in the video is not wrong. You are at the Scene Snobs podcast.
Congratulations, you made it. You weren't sure you were going to, but in fact, we are here, and so are you.
You picked up on all of the clues. The scavenger hunt led you to right here, right
Bravo.
now. Thank you very much. And everybody watching right now, we truly appreciate you. Thank you, Jason Taylor, who magically is watching and in the green room. If you are in the chat, hit the subscribe. If you're not already, also hit that like. Thank you very much. The Snobs Nation, of course.
Yes, sir. Jason is working that double time.
I am, yeah, definitely, and I appreciate him. He's always been a big proponent of us.
And thus him over at the Three Geeks, which we will discuss his newly minted show shortly.
Absolutely. We are going to get to that and more. Kathleen is here. Kathleen, hello.
Hello, Kathleen.
Kathleen is the mistress of the realm.
She is indeed.
Runs this shiznit.
Holler.
So we should hire Kathleen as our producer. That'd be great.
We're snob subletting.
John, how are you? Good evening,
John.
You wonderfully snobby gentleman. I love it. I love it. And
we are.
Everybody watching and listening, I want to say I appreciate how much everybody jumped onto the Discord and having a great time with it, because we're having our first watch party this Saturday. I think it's going to be RoboCop. That's what everybody seems to be voting for. I thought Buckaroo Banzai was going to be a little bit.
I was blown away. It was hard RoboCop, and I'm a proponent of RoboCop. I as much as I love Buckaroo Banzai, I'd rather RoboCop.
I mean, you know me. I'll do a double feature any day of the week. But since we're doing the one, I'm very excited. So if you guys want to be a part of this watch party on Saturday, it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night. We're going to all put on RoboCop at the same time. We're going to be on the Discord talking about it, and it's going to be a great time. So come in, join in, and let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got everybody here tonight. Kathleen, Mistress of the Realm. I'm glad you like the title. And John is like, not so much. Jesse K is here. Evening to you.
Good evening, Jesse.
Idea already planted. Suck it, was. RoboCop speaks to everyone frustrated with corporate greed right now. It absolutely does.
And we are all drowning in OCP-like conditions.
And if anything, it proves that we need more government overhead.
Is that what it does?
Is that not what the message of that movie?
Are you sure that's not? I don't think that's what we're getting.
I feel like that's the message they're going for.
Pretty sure it's the whole human spirit breaks through the corporate shill that we're created within.
I mean, even in death, you still have a job. Wasn't that the whole point of the movie?
Well, yeah, because they want to be able to keep you working as long as possible and always be able to consume. We should do They Live.
Oh, we'll get there. That's a good one. So I think the next watch party we need to discuss that one. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. We should go with the theme until inflation goes back down, which it never will. No, we're getting there. We're going. We can't do that.
No more news. No more news in the morning.
We promise that. We're not doing that. We do have news, though, but it's going to be more fun entertainment.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Han Solo and his next outing, Mr. Harrison Ford?
Wait, so Harrison as Solo?
No, sorry. I just call him Han Solo. We're on a first-name basis, and it's Han.
So it's Han. I get it.
I chose that name. I said that's
I go with Big H. I know you had a different choice. So
sometimes Indy. It depends on the day.
Fair. Yeah.
Well, Harrison was telling me the other day, and by Harrison telling me, I meant I read this on Twitter. The show Yellowstone?
I do, in fact.
Well, you know how much I love Yellowstone. I know you've been getting into it. We've been talking about it a bit. Mm-hmm. Well, they made a TV series called 1883, which is about the first Dutton family that traveled out west, and that's kind of how they found their land. With
Sam Elliott, right?
Sam Elliott was in it. He did not play one of the Duttons. It was Tim McGraw and Faith Hill played it, which did a great job in my opinion.
Gotcha. He is, well, I love Sam Elliott, and he's one of the last cowboys. So anything he wants, anything he does, I'm in.
He is Wade Garrett, so we got to love him. So here's the thing. They're making another one called 1932 about the next Duttons sort of leading the charge into, like, through the Depression and such.
Almost like a generational thing. I see what they're doing. Oh,
I love it. Well, get excited, because in that series is going to star Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
What?
Yeah. They're the stars of that show.
Okay, bro, look, at this point, Harrison Ford doesn't give a shit, so he's not really acting. He's just Harrison Fording.
That's what I said.
And I'm fine with that. But Helen Mirren, on the other hand, is a Dane. She's magical. She's fantastic. What she brings to the screen is wonderful. So I'm so excited for this. The two of them playing off of each other.
But think about it. A surly rancher who's just a curmudgeon asshole. Who fits that better than him?
Nobody.
And he doesn't have to act. You're right. He just has to be pissed off on set and they film it.
Jeff Bridges would have to act that because he's not surly.
No, he's in fact seems like he's like a guy you could be buddies with.
Dare I say jovial?
Yeah. Like when I said that I called Harrison Ford Han, he punched me in the face.
No, I believe that.
That's not true. But he did.
Well, mentally, yeah.
Mentally did. Well, yeah, I mean, that's big news. But we also got something else that's really exciting today. We got a trailer, first look trailer, which I'm going to bring up. Yeah, there it is. She-Hulk.
Super stoked for She-Hulk, man.
Now, if anybody doesn't know She-Hulk, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, really. That was abrupt. But
She-Hulk is
Bruce
a great
Banner's blood. I don't know why you would be freaking out.
No, I'm not really freaking out. But I do. I have a hemorrhoid. But I mean, does that count?
Close enough. Yeah.
Fair. All right. All I will say is, She-Hulk is a great character that I don't think gets enough respect.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's getting her own show, and it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney Plus. And we're going to show you the trailer right now, and then discuss it for a sec.
Being a superhero is a trial by fire. Who's going to protect the world if it's not people like you?
God, I wish I had those casts.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer. I have great friends. Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency. Demanding job.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you to be the face of it.
And a frustrating family.
Because we didn't ask for this, but you still got to deal with it. Your transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing. So, it feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no.
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer. Can you tell us where She-Hulk is? Jen, you're a story now.
Girl, your ass looks crazy right now.
You could be an Avenger. Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason. Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
Nope.
This is the best date I've had in a while.
Oh.
Should we split some fries?
Let's get those to go.
I will say, it looks like it's going to be a really fun show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited for it, and I really want to check it out again. She-Hulk is a very underrated character, in my opinion. True comic book fans like yourself, you just pointed that out, really know her and respect her within the hero community.
She's wonderful, man. The role she plays in West Coast Avengers, the role she plays in so many different teams, working as a lawyer, showing that bridge between general humans and super people. It was a really fun story, especially the one in the late 80s. I love that line.
Yes. And I also like that they're keeping her sexuality. She has a very high sexual appetite, and I felt that strengthened her as a woman, mm-hmm. Especially in the 80s and 90s when it seems like it was like too taboo for women to even be represented that way.
Right. And
they went with it, and like I just thought it strengthened the character in a big way, and I thought
very much really so. Good. Yeah, she was the strong, independent, capable, fully functioning this woman.
Yeah.
Hear her roar, and she was wonderful. And it's unfortunate that the original run didn't take off as much as I always hoped it would, because there were some fun stories in that one too. But honestly, the reboot in the 80s was great. I think they did very Ally McBeal, but with superpowers.
Oh my God, Ally McBeal!
Hey,
Robert Downey Jr.
Speaking of Ally McBeal, I believe we have someone waiting for us.
Well, no, I have something to talk about with this She-Hulk. You're not skipping over this. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. You're not skipping over this. That was some harsh CGI, and I hope that is not the CGI in the show.
Look, bro, You can't say harsh CGI after saying you were fine with the Morbius stuff.
But I knew what I was getting with Morbius. Like this.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of what we're getting here. That's kind of what I expect.
That looks like that looked like a face app. Like, and some of those scenes where she's walking, like when she's looking at the Tinder and she's like it looked unrealistic. Like it didn't look like it was her. It looked like her face was superimposed on somebody else's body.
I really struggle with the whole it's unrealistic when she's supposed to be playing a superhuman that gets superpowers and turns into a giant green monster.
Even Abomination did not look great.
I'm fine with it. There's a point of suspending disbelief that I'm okay with because I really dig this character and I love all the characters and I love the actors. Really, more importantly, these actors are fantastic. I am a huge fan.
Well, rather than accepting it, can we just hope that maybe they fix it by the time the series comes out?
Oh, it'd be great if they hopefully that comes out and there's a huge just piling on about please change whatever that awful green thing is. I mean, it worked for Sonic. Maybe that's
what I mean. Like, I think I really do believe that if everybody kind of piles on and says, this isn't really working, Sonic turned out masterfully.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it
did. And I'm not saying that the fans should run the story or anything or where the directions, but at least listen to them at the look. Like, this isn't a great look.
But at the same time, they've got a whole lot of money to dump into Ahsoka, the Diego Luna franchise, Obi-Wan. They got a lot of lightsabers to get going, bro. That's where all that money's got to go. Because if they fuck up my lightsabers, we're gonna have problems.
I know. And we just found out today that John Watts, who's the director of the Spider-Man trilogy, will be helming a new, as the showrunner, a new Star Wars television show that will take place between the prequels and the Holy Trilogy.
Yep, and to speak to John's point, one more really quick about She-Hulk. I really want a Matt Murdock as well. I think we need to get more of the lawyer side of it because they did kind of team up as lawyers a couple times, even though it was LA, New York. It was fun.
Don't expect Matt Murdock in this first series because he is going to show up in Echo.
Yeah, and thankfully he's going to be full-on Daredevil.
Yes, because he's going to be training Echo in a lot of ways, especially for the Kingpin. And it's heavily rumored we might get the red and yellow.
Ooh.
I'm super excited for it. The line about anger and fear being the baseline of a woman's existence is accurate. As a man, and I'm listening to this, when I heard that resonated for me through everything I've always heard from every woman that I've ever met. And yeah, it's crazy that has, I mean, I don't know what to say except I'm sorry.
Nope. I stand with you.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, I like to sit.
Yeah. I'm not going to be sorry about something I'm not in control of.
I can give you like 20 minutes of standing and absolute sitting for as long as you need me.
Yes, I will. How about I will sit near you?
20-minute increments every 4 hours.
That's valid.
All right. Well, there we go. So I stand.
Good middle ground.
All right. You are correct, though. We do have a very special guest tonight. He's a good friend of ours. He's from the Three Geeks Podcast. If you guys don't know that show, you need to go and check it out. It's a lot of fun. They know their stuff. They talk about it quite often. All this stuff and more that we try to talk about here, but we're not very good at all the time.
Yeah, we fail at a lot. Whenever we have topics, they usually cover those things.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we talk, we veer to the absurd, whereas they veer towards the, the fun and the pop and everything that goes with it. But without further ado, let's accept the man. He's been on the show before. He's a snob at heart, Mr. Jason Taylor.
Hashtag Snob Nation. Woohoo! Woo!
Thank you for joining in tonight, man. I'm really looking forward to this.
I want to send a shout out to Kathleen, John, Jesse, my work buddy. Thanks all for tuning in. Emily, I know you're watching. Thank you. And I'm ready to talk to you guys. I'm so excited.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you, man.
It's fun to have you on the show, man. So I'm glad we can get you on, especially to talk horror.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's your thing.
One of my favorite franchises. Mick reached out to me gave me a choice of some movies to come on and talk about. And if I had done the Friday the 13th show with you guys, I probably would have talked a lot about Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone, because those are two of my favorite. And I chose Final Destination because I freaking love this franchise.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is like
excited too.
It's like the Fast and Furious of horror movies.
I feel like
Yeah,
we
it really
learned
is.
something on Friday. Oh my god, yeah, that's a great correlation.
Mm-hmm.
It really is like the Fast and Furious of horror movies, like because they come at you fast, they come at you furious, and they unrelentingly never stop.
It's amazing how they do the absurd. They try to push the envelope of what can we almost make realistic, but not really, and just swap out casts and always have it revolve around family.
Yeah.
That's fair. Dominic Toretto's going to come in and just like run over like the next star of the movie.
Yeah, look, we already saw Final Destination did show us what happens at races. So don't go to races.
It really does. The whole series, like, first and foremost, let's be real, the most iconic death in a memorable way, in a memorable fashion. I'm not saying it's the best death, it has to be anybody's favorite, but it's the one we truly have probably all thought about at one time or another driving. And that's the log scene.
That scene messed me up, man. I can't even drive like behind a semi or anything, buddy, like hauling something. Like I got to get to the side and in front of them as soon as possible.
Yeah, I do not play that game. And let's start with that for a second, because I feel like we need to get that one out of the way, because they make memes about it.
Mm-hmm.
People see this stuff. There's logging trucks out there. We know we're not all flyers. We don't all go on planes, so we don't all like worry so much about that. We don't all worry about roller coasters. We don't all worry about NASCAR events. Very few of us do. But
or bridges.
Bridges kind of well, it depends on the bridge, man. There's some bridges like I cross and I'm like, I think about that and I'm like, I ain't jumping. I'm not jumping. I'm just gonna die.
Maybe not. Maybe you land and like all the pillowy, wonderful airbags will save you.
Possibly. That would be the only one. I'll be the one that wasn't meant for death. And it's like, why?
Or you'll be the one where the airbag goes off late, so you think you're okay, and then all of a sudden, doink.
Oh my God. Yeah, right. When she gets like smacked in the head with that is insane. And all because like he's like sawing into it and hits it. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah. So this series, man, this series spawned a television show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure it's the basis for Seth MacFarlane's Million Ways to Die in the West.
Probably. I can see that for sure.
Like the 1,000 Ways to Die TV show, came from Final Destination. I don't
100%.
care what anyone says.
100%.
So anything after that, it's probably because of Final Destination is the granddaddy of death and movie. No, I misspoke. I apologize. Final Destination is the daddy. We got to give it up to Faces of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, Faces of Death.
That's actually murder. I don't know.
That's fucked up. I've seen like part of the first one, I think, when I was younger.
Faces of Death was that, it's banned everywhere and we can't get our hands on it, even though it's at this video store that my brother went to and he got his hands on it. I feel like Faces of Death is one of those things that inspired this, but at some point they were like, but we're going to put somewhat of a story to it.
So that's one of the big parts about this series. So just cracking into Final Destination as a series overall, one of my favorites. It is not a good set of movies. These are not movies that I would watch and call them quality. What it is a bunch of writers who are twisted like us, who sat around and said, how many messed up ways can we kill as many people as possible? And then get as gruesome as we can. So they took like the 0.2% of what could happen and ran with it. And that's why I think this might be one of those franchises that needs to last forever. I think this franchise can continue to go on with whomever you put in. It doesn't require any connection to any previous story. It simply is.
I do like how they tie together. Like they try to find ways to tie it back to the plane crash of the original. Mm-hmm. And so far 5 has done it the best, I think.
With Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Well, Tony Todd added legitimacy to that franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. The Final Destination, as a naive horror fan in 2000, showed me that death can be funny and fun. Because it's fun. Like, the death scenes are fun.
They are. They're so ridiculous. They're all Rube Goldman machines. It's like this ridiculous, like, how much can you do? It's all playing Mousetrap. Like, what if they step on this and then fall this way, and this thing then knocks over here, and then this thing goes through this person? Oh,
Well, I guess the guy who wrote it originally wrote it as an episode for the X-Files, and it was a spec script that he tried to sell. And then Riddick, I think it's Jeffrey Riddick, yeah. So he wrote it as an X-Files episode, and I think actually that would have been a really cool X-Files episode. But I'm glad for the sake of 5 movies that we are talking about now. I guess that it didn't happen. It actually is surprising to me that X-Files didn't jump at that, because it sounds like right up their alley, you know. But let's take it right back to the beginning. Let's take it back to the flight in the first movie. 287 people died in that flight, except for 5 that got. What was it? So it was the
Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa was the one that had the premonition. I'm not saying Devon Sawa had the premonition, who still today in the Chucky series killing it, in Black Friday killing it, and other things. So I'm so happy to see that man was Junior in Little Giants. So
more importantly, Idle Hands, man, one of the greatest movies, hands down.
Played Stan in the Eminem music video. Stan.
He did. He did.
Oh, that's right.
He was
Jason.
Stan. Funny death. Sharknado. Not funnier than. I feel like if they didn't make a Sharknado film, there would have been a shark tornado in the Final Destination at some point.
Exactly. That's the thing, man. Sharknado is just literally jumping the shark of what Final Destination has done. Somehow they still legitimize Final Destination because we all fear death and people are dumb and do crazy things. So that could happen.
We're getting a Final Destination 6, right?
I have no idea.
I believe so. And we
Sorry,
should.
Sorry, I jumped us way past. We're starting at the beginning.
That's okay.
I apologize.
Well, in March 2020, the film, set in the same canon as the first 5 films, would focus on first responders, with series producer Craig Perry stating, "We are toying with it having take place in the world of the first responders, EMTs, firemen, police. These people deal with death on the front lines of every day, and that's crazy." In March 2020, and to say that right before the pandemic,
right before COVID.
Jeff Ritter confirmed that the 6th film had been in the works prior to COVID-19 pandemic. In October 2021, Laurie Evans Taylor was once announced to write the screenplay for the film. In January 2022, Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema, it was announced that Guy Busick would co-write with Taylor, with John Watts joining as a producer. Additionally, it was revealed that the film was distributed through HBO Max. So we may still get it.
Could happen.
Especially John Watts, who, like we talked about earlier, success of the Spider-Man series, and now joining the Star Wars world. I mean, he doesn't have to do anything but produce, but just his name attached should get it made.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you do? Where do you go? What happens now? Is it like they die of old age? Does it take place in a nursing home where it's like, oh, man, syphilis got him? You know,
and they just show like this terrible, they hit just one old dude just going through and humping a lot. And
we haven't had
getting syphilis, and that's it.
We haven't had a boat accident yet in the Final Destination franchise.
Cruise ship,
an oil spill, a cruise ship, like space. We haven't gone to space in Final Destination yet.
Yeah,
Jason went to freaking space, but he waited till 10. I feel like we got to get hit at least 9.
Yeah, I mean, even Fast and Furious, like we talked about earlier, they went to space. So
the Critters did it in 4, though. So
yeah,
maybe under the water.
You know what would be great? Actually, I love what you're saying. It's a crew from they're on this International Space Station, and the shuttle's about to leave, and last minute they decide to get off, and then asteroids hit the space station. And then they come back to Earth. Oh my God, I'm writing this shit myself.
There you go. $1 million picture. Go picture. You got all the money.
HBO Max, give me a call. Yeah, no, there you go. So, and then you got your space. And it's astronauts. So, like, you can make them sexy.
Then we find out one of the astronauts went to high school with Devon Sawa. Boom. Bam. Connected.
Or at least at the same high school as Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
Ali Larter's just back for some reason.
Wasn't she incinerated in the third one? She can't come back.
No, the second one.
Second one.
Because remember, they find her and she's locked in the rubber room.
That's right.
And she's the one that like is passing on the story.
And it was really funny too because her character in the second one was way too much like her character in Heroes. Like I mix those characters up all the time.
I forgot she was on Heroes. What does that tell you? Sorry,
Heroes was
Ellie
Heroes.
Larder. I don't even know what Ellie Larder's doing today. I hope she's doing well though.
Hopefully being awesome.
Hope she's getting hers. I don't know. I will say for me personally, when it comes to these movies, is it something that I'm ready to jump at? Absolutely not. But I always find myself saying, I need to see this. I need to see this. What about you guys? What do these movies mean to you?
Well, Jason, you said this is one of your favorites. Why didn't you take that?
It is one of my favorite franchises, and it's because it's silly fun. Especially the third one. The third one really sticks out in my mind as being the quintessential silly fun horror film. Like the first one, they tried to make a serious horror film. It backlashed. We enjoyed it because, of those reasons. The second one, they tried to bring back some of the original cast. They couldn't get Devon Sawa back, so they killed him in a off-script death. So that happened.
But what was he doing in 2002 that he couldn't be there?
Drugs?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he looks a lot harder than he did in Little Giants and Idle Hands. Like now, you look at him and it's just like, "Damn, you're sexy, dude." Like when I was in high school,
you're not wrong.
When I was in no, he is. I'll say it. I don't care. When I was in high school,
not Casper sexy, but that's different.
That's Brad Renfro. Get your shit together.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
From Casper.
I'll bet you that. Wait. Yeah, Brad Renfro.
I will happily bet you $1,000 that Casper's.
I'll bet you friendly $1,000. Friendly $1,000.
Friendly $1,000.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It was Devon Sawa. You won a friendly $1,000. Fuck, man. Why did I never remember that? Why did I think it was Brad Renfro?
Because you are drunk. I
might be. I don't even know what's happening right now. That threw my whole game off because I was like, no, that's Brad Renfro. You're wrong. And I'm the fucking scene snob and I can't, and the madman fucking demolished me for $1,000.
Quietly. So Jason, you were considering why you're telling us why it's one of your favorites.
The third one was a lot of fun. The fourth one, I don't know what's missing in the fourth one or why it doesn't have that same spark as the other ones, because on paper it's exactly the same, but there's something missing in that fourth film that really ties you in. And then the fifth movie I liked, and I like the twist at the end where, spoiler alert, ties back to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You find out at the end that it's a prequel leading into the plane, and I like that. I thought that was a fun little twist.
I don't remember. I've seen the fifth one. I remember really liking it.
Yeah.
That's a prequel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do not remember. Wait a second.
The main character ends up on that flight.
Yep.
How? That movie takes place, it's 2011.
No, it takes place in 2000.
Bullshit.
It was,
that
shows up in 2011, but does not take place in 2011.
Then I want to know the director's name. And I want to.
And they made a big deal of that because remember they had the black Motorola flip phones.
Yeah,
they made a really big point that was their cell phones.
Bullshit. But even then, that didn't work. They didn't have any cell phones in the first one.
They had Motorola back there, like back in the day.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Come on. First, you guys are old enough to know as well as I do that maybe they existed and they did exist. I'm not taking that away, but don't play it like every teenager had one. They didn't. We were in high school at that time.
I don't remember the age of the characters in the fifth one. Were they teenagers?
It was 2000.
That was
the year I graduated.
Yeah. I was a junior.
I had a cell phone in 2000.
Yeah. I had friends who had cell phones. I don't think what they look like.
I had a few.
I had friends who had pagers in 2000.
I had a pager too. Those things were awesome.
Oh, God.
You had maybe, but that's the thing. You had maybe a friend who had a cell phone, and maybe you knew a couple of other people in your school that had a cell phone. Casey, you were in Connecticut. I don't even want to hear it. They don't even know what cell phones are in Connecticut.
No, in the great white north, we knew nothing of what your technology is here in this weird place that is foreign to us.
Dude, you had 15 kids in your school.
150.
I was off by one number.
No, not really. But all right. So anyway, back to Final Destination.
I am.
Enough of that noise.
This plays in. This ties in. Okay, but regardless of that, I will give the cell phone thing up. But that first movie, the way they dressed, the way those kids acted, everything screamed the year 99, 2000.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
It was perfectly fit. Number 5, again, a movie I like. I don't remember it tying in that way. Those Motorola flip phones were not working because nobody was dressed like it was the year 2000. Nothing worked for that. Nothing. No.
I have to. I can't. I need to rewatch it again, but it's one of my favorites, and I do like because the camera quality goes down to the quality they would have had in the 2000s movie when they get on the plane.
Yeah, they did turn that down, and I have to say, although it didn't convince me of the time frame, because as much as we grew up in 2000, we grew up with Final Destination. That was part of our high school. It's really hard for us to sit back and try to compare 11 years later, 12 years later, them trying to put that into retrospect. I understand.
How weird
I
is
give it. I don't care because
How weird is it
all
right now?
this franchise needs to be is ridiculously huge swaths of death with absurd graphics. 4 did lack something. Jason, you are 100% correct, and I could not agree more.
I
4
agree with
lacked
that.
heart. There was something about the acting, the script. I mean, it was similar enough, but it also proved to me that this movie can be terrible. These movies can suck as long as the premise is death will find you in some ridiculous fashion, and you will have some absurd way of dying that would be literally the 0.1% of a way to go in that situation.
You know what 4 reminded me of was that weird Saw movie where it was just like everybody was in a contraption, but there was like no basis for it because Jigsaw was dead. And
Was that 4? Is that Saw 4?
It was the one where in the window of the store or whatever, like it was the 2 guys like at either end and the girl that they were both like sleeping with hanging above.
Okay. Yeah.
And I cannot for the life of me remember which one that was.
Well, good. You don't have to because no one's here to talk Saw.
No, fair. No, but I'm comparing it in the sense of like the tone. Like
Right.
The fourth movie, it just seemed like it was all about like exploitation of the murders. Whereas, yes, that's thin on plots for all of them, but at least those plots gave us something.
Yeah, I mean, Saw was out too in 2009, so they're probably very much trying to, feed off of that hype.
I would actually reverse that and say that this 4 for this was probably trying to feed off of Saw and Hostel and all that stuff.
I would agree to that because it did kind of change its tone. And my real problem with 4 is also way too many explosions. Like the other ones, you don't get the explosion. You have to have some sort of practical death where something is usually being plunged through you. You're getting impaled by something. Like it's pretty extreme. 4 was like, we're just going to blow you up like a lot. Like,
yeah.
We had almost 4 explosions. It was like, what?
That NASCAR thing. Although there was a couple of good ones at the NASCAR bit.
Oh, the wheel stuff was beast.
When that engine is just flying at her and just like flattens her, I'm like, this is messed up, but kind of funny.
It might be because 4 was filmed in 3D, so there's a lot of stuff going at the camera in 4.
Yep.
And I remember that being very obnoxious because it was so obvious.
There you go. So we kind of talked about this in the last episode with Friday the 13th, where people were saying that the in-your-face 3D of Friday the 13th Part 3 took them out of it. So I wonder if there's something to that because 3D doesn't work without the 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
well, see, it does. It's that
Avatar.
secondary pause. It's just allowing for that second pause. And once again, 3D doesn't work for non-3D when it's Jason, when it's certain characters. When it's Final Destination, it's fine. We just get more of prolonged death. We're seeing the more death. That's all it is. Yeah. You're just taking an extra second to zoom up and have it in your face as they die. Like, it's weird and messed up, but that's what Final Destination does, man.
Yeah. And it is crazy that like you said, it was like at that time. So because 2009 was 4. And how weird is it that number 5 came out in 2011, 11 years ago. We have not seen a Final Destination movie in 11 years.
I just watched 5 for the first time a few years ago because like I said, I did not like 4, so I figured 5 would be just as bad. And somebody's like, "No, 5 is awesome. Watch it." I did.
I like the actors in it. Everybody did a really, really good job in that one.
I agree. Same deal with 5. 5 was one that like I said, I watched today in preparation because that was the one I realized I'd seen the least. And I couldn't realize why I didn't. Exact same reason, Jason. 4 was so bad. The acting sucks. It straight up is, man. I'm sorry. There's no nice way to say it. They're just parts that fall on its face, and it shouldn't. Whereas 5, everybody pulls it because you don't have to do a lot. It's Final Destination. You just have to die.
I think there's a legitimacy that comes from the actors that were in it too.
Agreed.
Because 4, like I forget, I don't even like Krista Allen. I know, and Williamson, what's his name? Bubba from Forrest Gump was it?
Yeah.
And yeah, so for that, I was like, there's really nobody in this to like. Mary Elizabeth Winstead brought a legitimacy to the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Sawa to the first one.
Ali
AJ
Larder
Cook at the time. Who?
Ali Larder to the second.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely brought that like the Harbinger almost in those movies.
And
well,
also
actually, the Harbinger would be more Tony Todd.
Yeah, that would have been Tony Todd. Yeah, he's the Harbinger in that one. But one of the cool parts about Ali Larder is she was so hot at that moment. You know, you got to remember she had Varsity Blues and she's got Final Destination. I mean, she was on fire with everything she had coming out.
Oh yeah.
By 2, she's adding a lot. No, I'm just saying she added that much legitimacy that maybe they didn't even anticipate. So by 3, it kind of downplays because you can't get that tier. You went from Devon Sawa to Ali Larder, like accidentally wound up.
Yeah, well, I mean, even her returning from the first one, like, and her star having risen from the first Final Destination to the second one. Yeah, you're right. That because at that point she was a bigger star than Devon Sawa.
Yeah,
which still boggles my mind that he didn't come back. And I'm like, and they got her. But even AJ Cook, who was the star of that one, who went on to be on Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah, shoot, yeah.
You know, so like she added something to it because she at that time she was starring in a lot of stuff. And I can't remember the cop's name in it, but like he was like,
yeah, it's
Courtney Vance in the 5th one. Courtney B. Vance in the 5th. It's Courtney B. Vance.
Well, that's what the 5th one did because like Nicholas D'Agosto is
Michael
really
Landis.
good. He shows up in a lot of stuff.
Oh, Michael Landis. There you go.
Who's the actor?
Michael Landis.
He played Jimmy Olsen in the first season of Lois and Clark.
That's where he's from. Yes, but I mean, like he was recognizable when he showed up. So, and I still love that ending when the barbecue blows up and the arm falls right in front of the mom. It still cracks me up.
Man, I tell you, watching all of these death scenes made me realize how just either screwed up I am as a human or how absolutely hilarious the director landed every moment. The focus on these kills is really the only reason this movie series is worthwhile. So as much as we've sat here and discussed different stars and actors and directors and whatever they've come out with, the way that these kills are pulled off is what makes them enjoyable, make me want to go back to watch a 24-minute video of 1,306 kills total out of all 5 movies. It was amazing. It was so much fun, and they're hilarious. So I am actually curious, Jason, as the fan that you are, 2 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite individual kill? And this is to you as well, Mick. And number 2, what's your favorite massive disaster kill?
Tanning booth was my favorite from 3.
Yeah, buddy.
It's always been a fear of mine. That's why I've never gone anywhere near a tanning booth. Nope, I'm good. I do not want to cook in a toaster made for
It's so absurd. It locked. Like, how did that one lock? They're not supposed to lock.
Yeah, like they just come down. They don't lock. That's why, like, even if they get into place, you can push it. Like it's not strong. So like for that, I was just kind of like, all right, whatever you say there.
I love it. Jason's still like, nah, but no tanning booths. That's fine. You can tell me that. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I don't need a bookshelf falling on the tanning booth so I can't get out.
You know what? I will say this. Maybe there's something to the fact that Tony Todd wasn't in the 4th one.
Wait, he wasn't?
No, he wasn't in the 3rd or 4th one, but at least Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is married to Obi-Wan. I mean, come on, like that's probably what brought the magic.
Yeah, more than likely.
Well, and also she's a really good actor.
That's probably more it.
But no Tony Todd? No way.
It's not going to fly.
We will not accept this if Candyman is not in
Unacceptable.
And that's that. I've lifted the ban on that. We can say it more than 5 times. I have not died after saying it many, many times on this show. So I feel like we're safe.
Sure. And that's when he gets us. Candyman.
So, come on. We don't have to say it 5 times. I'm just saying I've lifted the ban. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say no. We
Candyman.
No. Don't do it. All right, we're there. But let's talk about Final Destination.
All right, no, but seriously, Mick, what is your favorite individual kill out of these? And then we'll get to disaster kills.
Oh my God, there's so many. My favorite one. Let me answer my favorite disastrous one.
Okay, go ahead.
First, because I have that in the barrel.
All right.
It's got to be the bridge.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the bridge was just done really epically. Although I really like the roller coaster one too. It was just so cheesy.
There just weren't enough stakes in the roller coaster one.
No. I agree. But that's why the bridge for me was like, if it's not the plane, it's the bridge. Mm-hmm. Because the bridge was just, and I do love the logging. I love them all. I love all the epic ones, but I'm going with the bridge. 100%
with the bridge.
Final answer.
All right.
Oh, okay. Mine is the pile up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because every time I go out in traffic, I think of that movie.
Yep.
Every time. So it really stuck with me.
Yeah, and they did a great job in the 5th one of having the logging truck drive by as they're getting ready to cross the bridge. I'm like, oh.
I know, right? It hits on such a good way, but at the same time, like, it doesn't end with the pileup.
Right.
They have to. There's like could be an escape, and it just everything goes wrong. Like so, like for me, the 5th one was really good, and I think if people haven't checked it out, they should. I really like the idea that they're now adults; they're not high schoolers. It's a company retreat.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Now my individual death is so. All right, my individual death is probably going to be the barbecue. Every time I think about it, it makes me laugh because just the way it is when they're all sitting there, and he's not even somebody who's supposed to really die.
Yeah.
Like, so when the thing just blows up, it's hysterical because you're just, and then that arm lands and you're like, this is it.
There's a perfect pause at that shot when they just are all staring, and then all of a sudden it's like, is there boom?
But then she's like, oh my God. And then as soon as she takes her hands down, the arm lands and it's perfect. And you end the movie. Like, it's so odd. Although that subway death was kind of cool.
Yeah, that one's brutal. So, Jason, you agree that the bridge is your favorite, like, massive one?
I meant the pile up. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, the pile
up in the second one.
The logging one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. The pile up is. I'm with you on that one. The pile up is one that sticks with me because it's always present. It is omnipresent. It exists in my world. At any point I'm driving, if there's a logging truck, I know how to successfully navigate the fuck around them rapidly. So yeah, I agree. And plus, they just had such brutal deaths, like the deaths you weren't expecting.
They don't shy away from it.
Oh, they do not know. They lean into it. They're like, here's the thing that might happen that possibly that the insurance companies legitimately consider paying you for at a 0.01% odds. Like, it's crazy.
I truly feel like this dude went someplace and was just like, what are you most afraid of?
He worked for State Farm.
Yeah,
I feel like he worked for State Farm. Like, we've seen a lot.
No, that's the other one. That's Farmers.
Farmers, sorry.
It's Jake from State Farm wrote these movies.
My other one, though, the individual for me, and it's only because it's the one that sticks in my head. So 3 is my favorite of all these movies. And 3 is my favorite because it was, for a period of my life, was one of those hangover movies that was on every Sunday morning on either Sci-Fi or one of the weird, like, UPN or something in my early 20s. So I kind of got stuck on it. And the death scene where the dude is working out, like, just screaming, and the freaking doors come down and chop the, like, weight, whatever, the counterweights, and so the thing smashes his head in.
Like, they both come down at the same time.
Yeah, just
like liquefy him. That I might have to change mine. That was so funny because he's
too
like
absurd.
swole. He's
Yep.
like, and
We're gonna make it. We won't die.
The blood lands right across their faces. Like it's hysterical, man. Like it's just nuts. I might have to change it to that. That's a good one.
I like Sean William Scott's death in the first one too.
That was a good one too.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like yelling at him, and he turns around, and he gets yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, and they show it too, like the top of his head from his jaw, like
they do not shy away from them, which is great. I mean, Kurtwood Smith, whom I loved because Dawson's Creek. So Kurtwood Smith in the first one, when he's just screaming, "What happens next? Who dies next?" And then the whole thing just smashes through him. The falling, what marquee essentially,
and then the sign, yeah.
That
was a good one. Man. I like the bus from the first one when she's yelling at him, steps in the street, and the bus just demolishes her. There's so many things.
There was a lot of great lessons to take from these movies, like what not to do.
Don't go outside.
Don't go outside. That's if you really extrapolate this all the way out, they're saying, look, the 0.1% chance is this every time and everything you do. Congratulations, good luck. There you go.
Like if death walked into the room because I cheated death, I might be like, can you give me a heart attack? Like, why are you fucking around with all this stuff? Like, just give me a heart attack. What did I do? What did I do by getting kicked off that plane that says to you, I need to suffer dramatically?
Well, what you don't understand is that death is really fucking bored. So when he has these big disasters, he has expectations. And if you don't reach those numbers, he's got problems because he's got to answer to himself in the great cycle at all times. So death's a busy man. Don't complicate it.
All right, that's fair.
I agree with Jesse in the chat. She said the elevator death. That's from the second one, right?
That was the second one,
Yep.
That was a good one. Kathleen says, and come on, who doesn't want to talk about Saw? Well, maybe when we bring this back in October, we will. So what happened for the talking about the log scene?
We got back to it.
Yeah, we got back to it. Devin did not return due to a dispute in his contract.
See, and that's bullcorn. Because I mean, I understand that, of course, there's a dispute because he's Devon Sawa. So, I mean, he's supposed to be a guy in the thing with stuff. But I don't understand what the foolishness is when you really don't have much freaking going on. Like, legitimately, you topped at Idle Hands. You haven't seen a whole lot since 99. And you're going to struggle now at this point. But you know what? Netflix was coming about. There were other things on the rise. So, of course, maybe he was seeing other things happening. I don't know, or drugs.
I'll tell you what, though, he's on an upswing now, and I'm happy to see it.
Yes, me too. He was fantastic on Chucky. Fantastic.
All right, before we get moving on to our next topic, I want to ask you guys, where in the three, let's put it at 3 levels.
Okay.
Terrible, like, don't want to watch it. Middle of the road, like, it's a memorable horror movie series, but it's not going to ever reach greatness. And then the elite. Where do you rank the Final Destination series in a whole?
Guess first, brother.
You, sir?
I would say it's middle of the road with fun. It's a lot of fun. It kind of maybe gets it to that next tier, but I'd say it's middle of the road.
Yeah, I'd put that in middle of the road too. How about you?
That's not a slight against it because it's fun and fantastic.
There's tons of movies that are middle of the road. Horror franchises that are middle of the road. Critters, yeah, which you love. You love this stuff. I would call every Stephen King movie middle of the road.
Except Maximum Overdrive.
Or poor.
Except Maximum Overdrive.
You're right. It goes in poor.
I'd put it in a higher tier than the rest, but I agree with you with most.
I agree. Hit
Misery.
And Misery and Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive is fantastic.
Listen, okay. I don't know that I would put those two in great personally for me. I'm not saying that anybody can't have them in their grade section. It's I get it. But they're high middle of the road. They're too, like, and for very different reasons. Because Misery's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive is dog shit awesome.
Yeah. Dog shit awesome.
So, like, it's so weird that they propel themselves up for very different reasons, but I cannot let it cross the threshold.
And yet both of them were cocaine-fueled rampages.
So much.
Yeah, the Maximum Overdrive soundtrack by AC/DC gets it to the next status. It's for me. Like, that is fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah,
And also considering at the time, AC/DC was not giving out their songs.
Nope.
At the time, it was difficult to get them involved. And Stephen King even came out later and said he was more worried about working with the trucker convoys and getting AC/DC together for the entire soundtrack than directing the fucking movie.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It does show.
Oh, it shows.
Why do you
Oh,
think
it
that is?
shows.
Because all the guy was high on cocaine. He's like, the directing part's easy. I don't even have to pay attention. Just be afraid of this. Like,
Just run around.
dude, we can do a whole plot roasted just on that movie. And I hope somebody in the Patreon, listening Patreon right now, says do Maximum Overdrive, because I got things to say.
Oh, buddy, I got ways to go, but we're not going to do that right now. You would ask us a question, Mick, and I want to answer because everyone else has now. I actually put this as in the pantheon of best. The reason
Really?
I do that, yes. And the reason I do that is the same reason, and this is, okay, so I had a bit of a thing. So Friday the 13th movies did something for summer camp movies that has perpetuated summer camp movies to be forever. They are cemented. If you have a movie that takes place in a summer camp, I'm already putting it at like a 5. It's at an average out the gate. You don't have to do anything successful. You're following a trope that I love, and you have endeared with me. Final Destination has now become an endeared trope. The idea that death always gets their mark. You know, I love that. And I think they've done it wonderfully, and it's hilarious. And they just keep raising the stakes to see how many more deaths they can get. So this is in the greats for me because I want to see more.
You know, I should put it in the greats because it inspired Happy Death Day, which is 2 of my favorite horror comedies.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, the fact that somebody watched this and said Final Destination and Groundhog Day, and then it just became a great series. with
Wonderful. And that actress crushes it too.
Oh,
So,
she's
yeah.
great in it.
So good.
I will say it still doesn't reach greatness for me. I cannot, in my opinion, nothing compares to the Friday the 13th franchise, only because even longevity, if you put all of the entities together with it, like the fan films, there are fan films out there that are just as good, or if not better, than Friday the 13th movies in the series. So adding to that the video game popularity and the fact that if there wasn't a lawsuit going on, we would probably have 3 more by now. This has lasted 42 years.
Yeah. And Friday, sorry.
I was going to say, I agree with that 100%. And I like that the fans are making sequels to the Friday films that we wanted sequels to. Like Jason 6 has like a ton of sequels now, thanks to the internet and YouTube.
Yeah,
They should.
Our buddy Cody directed a movie called Voorhees. It's a feature-length film you can watch on YouTube, and it's a Friday the 13th, and I think it matches up well with the series.
Agreed.
So Jesse says...
sorry.
Just says I judge the value of great by rewatchability, and that's why I don't know that. Again, I think rewatchability is cemented in the middle of the road too. Bad is just I'm not going back.
Yeah.
But I do. So for me, it still matches. Like I said, it's on the high end.
Yeah.
But I think because it went from 2000 to 2011, it might reach great at some point. But it's longevity and the fact that 4 is just dog shit. And
that's true. And look, I got to say, everybody finds their feet. Friday the 13th had to take time. You know, they are not all great. You know, you can't have that many movies over that period of a time and have them all be great. Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street is another one that I think really hits on that point because you're dealing with dreams. You're taking that same idea of you can have any kill whatsoever because it's in a dream. And then you have the summer camp covered. And then for me, also Final Destination, because it's up there, because much like even Halloween, where you have the focused killer who is the Friday the 13th-esque, but it's in your local suburbs. You're just changing the setting. You have a suburbanite murderer versus the bloody murder camp killer. And this is death. This is just the most absurd thing you can get, and it's always going to be ever present everywhere you go. That's why I think Final Destination can last and have the longevity, because you can just do whatever you want. Swap out the cast, directors, stories. No one gives a crap. Just find new, fun ways to kill a whole lot of people.
And my great is Scream, and I just can't get Final Destination near Scream for me. Personally.
I get that. Yeah.
That's fair. So All right, guys. So as you know, we're doing this dissecting of horror movies because we are official reps of the Carolina Fear Fest. Hopefully you guys can come out. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina from the 27th to the 29th of this month. Casey and I will be there again this year, tearing it up, doing the live stream. We're going to be doing all of the social media. We're going to be hosting panels. We're going to do celebrity interviews. We're going to be doing tons of stuff. It's going to be a great time. Come out, hang out with us. It's always a great time, right, Case? Like last year,
it's an absolute blast. It's between the vendors who are fantastic. They just have one of the greatest setup conventions you're going to be a part of. The experience, the panels, all the guests, everyone's super nice. And bang for my buck, I've never met a better volunteer staff where I can go up and comfortably ask questions like a moron that I am. So I'm a big fan.
Absolutely helpful. Everybody was great, and we had such a fun time. And we're getting ready to do it again this year. So make sure you guys are following us on all social media because something is going to be on everything. And you can check it out. Make sure you hashtag us. The whole nine, the Scene Snobs podcast. You can go get your tickets. There's a link on thescenesnobs.com, which is in the description below. But we also have carolinafearfest.com down there. So you can just go straight to it. Check out the celebrity guests. A lot of people really look forward to who are you looking forward to most going down?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Danielle Harris, man. Come on.
I know.
I got to watch her kill murder in a clown costume as a child. Like, I mean, I was the same age as her. I was like, yo, this is dope.
I need to
character, not her, but
I need to tell her a story since we're finally I'm at a point where I can do an interview. So I met her years ago at Chiller Theater in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. We were much younger. I think we're around the same age. Like, if not, she's like maybe a few years older than I am. So we're all meeting, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Danielle Harris. This is before Hatchet.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the Hatchet series yet. So like, this is a long time ago. And I remember Lenny was with me, and we're walking, and I'm like, I love the Halloween movies. I would love to get her autograph. So I went up and I asked her how much an autograph was, and she had a guy there with her who was a straight up dickhead. He was just like treating me like I was hitting on her. And I'm like, there's like a table there. And like, she's talking to somebody. Like, what are you yelling at me for? It's not like I even said anything. And I was just so pissed that I was like, I walked away. And I was like, I didn't go back because I was just annoyed by this guy because you treat me like shit.
Oh, I hope that winds up to be her husband. God,
I hope not. For her sake. I hope not. But
for her sake, I'm so sure.
He might have just been a friend that like is overprotective, and this is the early days of horror conventions.
Or a shitty volunteer who was like a friend who was a bouncer who
That's
had
true
food.
Too. Maybe he liked her and he thought everybody was hitting on her. Who knows?
Totally viable.
Totally viable. But I am very much looking forward to meeting Tom Savini again. This will be my 5th time meeting Tom Savini.
I'm so excited for Tom Savini, but I just want to run up and scream "sex machine" and run away. I have to fight everything within my body not to go.
Dude, I mean, you can do that at his table, but don't do that if he walks up to our table for the interview.
Right.
Because that would just make it weird.
No promises. I don't know which direction that's going to go.
But I am going to bring my pictures with me I have with him. And there's like 4 different pictures of me with him throughout the years. And I'm going to tell him this is happening. We're taking another picture.
We need to get Jason down from Ohio.
Yeah,
we need to make that happen.
I need an intern. You want to come? I can't pay you, but you can come.
I would love to, man, if I could fit it in my work schedule right now.
Oh, man, you and I can share a bed.
Oh, dude, I'd love that. You know, I'm all down to cuddle. I want to meet Danielle Harris and all the people you guys are going to go see. I'm so excited for you guys. I met Tom Savini very briefly in Cincinnati a couple months ago. Nice guy. I just said hi, but still, super nice guy.
That's awesome.
He really is. And we're just looking forward to it. FYI, we're probably not getting to the last topic, but we are having a fun conversation.
Shocker.
Shocker, right? Well, I mean, listen, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm enjoying talking about horror movies. Which, whatever, we're a week away.
What we do, I'd rather talk about horror movies right now. I'm back in the mood, man. I'm back ready.
I am too. Carolina does it to us, and yeah, we're super excited for it because we have something very special coming up after Carolina Fear Fest. The Scene Snobs is going theme, but we're not announcing it just yet.
So, Jason, we have one more week of this breakdown series before we continue moving forward. We've covered Tremors, Critters, now Final Destination, Friday the 13th, on Friday the 13th. So we got one left. We got one left. We have been fighting each other, battling in the pits of despair to figure out which one to go with. As a horror fan and fellow movie fan, what is your recommendation that the snobs review and break down next?
The Return of the Living Dead franchise.
Done.
I've already said oh my god, 3 is ridiculous and batshit, but it's
Yeah, it is.
No,
Yeah,
done.
it is. It's so ridiculous, dude. Well, the first one I love. The first one is like my all-time favorite zombie movie, hands down. That's it.
Done.
Linnea Quigley touched my soul when I was a child, and I went, I love this forever.
And the
So-
second one is a carbon copy of the first one, where they took the two funeral home, the two workers and turned them into
Workers, yeah.
thieves. That's it.
Yep.
So I'm in. Yeah, let's do that. We were going to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. We'll save that for October. But
Yeah, I think Texas Chainsaw and like Friday and Nightmare on Elm Street should be the two we do in October.
I want to ask you guys because I recently watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and as somebody who likes dumb slasher movies, I thought the movie delivered on that. Like, why does it have so much hate?
because it tried to make it a legacy film,
Okay.
and they didn't do a good job. The kills are great.
Kills are amazing.
Yeah, like I went into it expecting just a dumb slasher, and I was fully serviced, as they say.
Hey, yeah, you were. So
That
what
bus
I
scene.
have to go with there is actually, if you haven't seen like our buddy Dave Kerr's Bloody Summer Camp, I likened it to that, where I just got the kills I wanted and we moved forward. And people were up in arms because they felt that there was a retcon done to this Leatherface character. And quite frankly, all we have to know is he's an inbred murderer who then wears skin and eats meat.
I mean,
Yeah, but no, I can't do it. In 1973, or 1974, when the movie came out and took place in 73, he was a man. He was a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
And this retconned it to be like, oh, he was a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
No, he was a man. I'm fine with him being old. I'm fine with him being still supercharged, like whatever. I don't care. But don't say it is a direct sequel to the first one and retcon it in such a weird way that's like, well, then what the hell happened to everybody
Now,
else?
Jason, did that throw you? I'm curious.
no, I like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and that's about it for me. So
See, I don't even really like the first one. I'm not a huge fan of the first one. I'm not a huge fan of all of them. I don't hate them. I watch them, but the second one is my favorite.
I like the first one. I thought the Michael Bay remake, the first one, was okay. I like the Leatherface movie that came out a few years ago, and then I like this one, and that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I really liked the first one just because what it was and what it meant, and Joe Bob. I mean, I'm sorry, I was a young impressionable child when I heard Joe Bob's rant on why Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the greatest horror movies ever, and I went, "Oh, it is."
Yeah,
I have to read his
after-
75-page review of that movie.
Yep. After that, I did not enjoy any of the other Texas Chainsaws until the remake. The Jessica Biel one, that was Michael Bay?
yeah, it's his
Yeah.
company. Yeah,
I had no idea.
that's the only one in his Bay remakes that I like. Was like, huh? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that one actually, I enjoyed that one. That was around the House of Wax time, and I even enjoyed that House of Wax. I was like, okay,
Did
it's
it?
not great, but I get Paris Hilton murdered. That's fun.
I am going to give Texas 2 another shot because when I went into Texas 2, I expected something similar in tone to Texas 1, and it is
No.
definitely not that. So
No.
I'm going to go in with the expectations of what it is and see if
Dude,
I like it more.
Dennis Hopper adds some validity to that movie that it doesn't need because it's a campy, crazy movie anyway. But yeah, I love that movie. What, no love for McConaughey, however they say it in the Next Generation?
No, I
That's a
hate
weird
that
one.
movie.
Well, he was just trying to run around, man. But you got to understand, he was in the married. He was just trying to smoke. He was trying to have himself a little fun. He found a couple people. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a barbecue." He was like, "All right, well, let me take my shirt off. Let's get on in. Let's just go hang out. We're just gonna party."
I will here's the thing. I'll watch the original 4 more than I'll watch any of the others. And it's not a slight against any of them because I think the remake is really good.
Mhm.
And where the direction they took it, I thought was fun. But this got the Halloween treatment big time. Like there's like 4 or 5 different timelines. It's just too
Yeah.
much.
That's exactly what they tried to do with this new one. They tried to give it the Halloween treatment instead of just. And I was excited because Fede Alvarez, like I expected this to be more because he was one of the producers on it, and I get that on that scale that it's just a dumb slasher, but it could have been so much more with especially the team behind it.
Being a producer, well, having been a producer for movies, I think too many fans latch on when directors attach themselves to movies as a producer. Because people are just like, well, it can't be bad. His movies are great. And it's like, yeah, but he's producing. He's not making this movie. And like when Quentin Tarantino puts his name on stuff and Guillermo del Toro puts his name on stuff, it's usually not good. They just like the filmmaker.
Yeah. One horror director that I think is pretty good at the producer realm, which is Sam Raimi. Most of the stuff he produces turns out to be pretty solid.
But that's because he's always been hands-on.
That's my guy.
He's only directed like 13 or 14 movies.
Yeah.
But he's produced tons of movies.
Because he's been in the writer's room. He's been with the director. He's working with the ADs. He's working his way through dailies. He's working away with the editor's room. That's the beauty of Sam Raimi is he is a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like Spielberg. Like there are a few of them, Tarantino. They are filmmakers.
Like the Evil Dead remake, I think is one of the best horror remakes ever, and I know Sam
Agreed.
Raimi had a big part of that. And we're getting another Evil Dead produced by Sam
Raimi. Yes, I'm so
I'm
excited.
hearing really good things about it,
bro. And I mean, let's not really discount. I think Drag Me to Hell is part of the Evil Dead series, and for me, Drag Me to Hell is one of Sam Raimi's best movies because he just went as Sam Raimi as he could.
Hell, Doctor Strange could be considered in the Evil Dead series because that finale has Evil Dead written all over it.
It's got Deadites. It's got a book of the dead. It's got, I mean, come on, man. It's right up his line. Ash Williams is in it as a shitty pizza guy.
We've already established that Jason is. Jason's a Deadite.
Yeah, Jason's a Deadite. Yep, from Friday.
Connections everywhere.
Yeah, because Necronomicon is in Jason Goes to Hell, right?
Yes, it is.
Dagger.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a precursor to having Ash in Freddy vs. Jason eventually.
Yeah.
They were going to do that?
They were.
Yeah, they were. For a little while, they talked about it. They really wanted to get Freddy and Jason together, and then there was the idea of like getting Ash in there as well.
They turned the treatment into a comic book series, Casey.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to check that out. That's not Death to the Evil Dead, right?
No, it's Army of Dark. It's Freddy and Jason versus Army of Darkness.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did. Okay.
I have a few of them you can read.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Just so you guys know, before we get going, I want to talk to Jason real quick. Tell us about Three Geeks Podcast. Where can we find it? What's it about? What's the deal?
Three Geeks Podcast. You guys can find us at 3geeks.ninja. And anywhere you find podcasts, just type in at 3 Geeks Podcast. But I want to take a second because Jesse just texted me and said, how do you find the Scene Snobs Discord? Well, Jesse, go to thescenesnobs.com, and it's right at the bottom of the page.
That's right. Thank you very
much. Right
after
you visit 3geeks.ninja. So don't forget 3geeks.ninja, where you're going to be able to see the beautiful man before us here, Jason, along with his cohorts and friends, Justin, Max, Dan, and whomever decides to jump in beyond that. So
whoever jumps in that moment.
Absolutely. And if you like my face, if you go to at 3geeksj on Instagram, I post a lot of photos of my face.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
My daughter hates it that I post photos of her face because I guess some of her friends follow me, and she gets teased about all of my selfies, but I keep doing it. You tell a dad not to do something, FYI, he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's seriously, if you ever tell your dad not to do something, as three dads sitting here, we're going to do it twice as much. We're doubling down.
Twice as much. It's going to
at least minimum twice as
minimum.
There's no reason not to antagonize your kids.
It's the best.
But awesome, man. Yes, definitely, guys. Check out 3geeks.ninja. That is a real website. Trust me, you're not going to get malware. It's legit. I love the fact that it is .ninja, and they're like the only ones on the planet that have this. It's fantastic. So, guys, check out the 3 Geeks Podcast. It is live every Sunday at noon Eastern. You can check it out. It's a 2-hour show. It's a lot of fun. They get into all the news, all the geek stuff, and everything else. So I learned a lot of stuff from that show about what's going on in the geek communities.
Yeah, sometimes we fight about real estate, whether it's better to rent or own. You guys can check out that.
And I'll tell you what,
a month ago.
my water pump went out, and so did the tank 2 weeks ago. and my landlord changed it in 24 hours.
Hey man, you're
You
preaching to
didn't.
the choir. I love renting.
So,
I'm not a handyman. Like I can't do that stuff.
I don't have time. I have to go make money to pay the rent.
Right?
Yeah. Say what you will. If you're in a good place, it's worth it. And I've owned, and I know. Regardless, I don't want to get back into that. I want to get back into the funness of what we're doing.
He's gonna cry any minute.
Guys, if you want to join an awesome community as well, go check out Snobs Nation, our Discord. If you go to thescenesnobs.com, there's a tab for it. The first 300 members to join. After that, we are going private, and it's Patreon only. If you are interested in joining our Patreon, we have a lot of new things going on. We have a brand new show that Casey and I are doing, and hopefully Jason can join us for a few episodes. It's called Plot Roast, where we are going to take movies that our patrons give us to watch. We are going to watch them, and we're going to rip them apart. Our first episode was Mannequin. The edited version will be on our YouTube channel, but the full uncut version will only be on our Patreon, so make sure to come in and join. Also on our Patreon, we are starting to get more scoops and things like that now that I work with cinemareview.com, and I'm starting to release those scoops on our Patreon page. So if you're interested in, stuff that's going on in the world of geek, join in and find out some of that stuff, and let's have some fun with it.
And those scoops aren't just for ice cream anymore. They're journalistic terms that are exciting to get you in.
I gotta ask you guys, where did you find Mannequin 1? I can only find the second one.
I don't know.
Places.
Where did I find it?
Amazon?
It exists. I typed it in on Roku and it popped up.
Maybe it's on Tubi. I'll check.
I don't remember where I watched it.
Mine had commercials. So it might have been, I think I did it through Peacock or something. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, it might have been. Actually. I don't 100% remember. But it's
one of my favorite flicks when I was a kid was Mannequin. I haven't seen it since.
And as a kid, it makes total sense to be great. As an adult, you rewatch it and go, this is terrible bad. Find out more on YouTube.
Yeah, watch it. Because it's about final girls. Because it's a horror show.
Awesome. I'm going to go to patreon.com and sign up right now so I can check it out.
That sounds rather swell, Jason. What a fantastic idea.
We got one.
We got one.
Jason, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. Casey, my buddy, I always love doing the show with you, so thank you for joining in. And I'm just going to say, Casey, take it away, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate and love and consider and care about you and hope you care about us. This has been a fantastic show. Jason, thank you so much for joining us from Three Geeks. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. This is one of the best parts of our day and our week. So hopefully we brought a little bit of light into your life and gave you a fun hour. Appreciate you. Remember to always be kind to yourself, take care of yourself, and be kind to each other.
And as always, I can't say it better myself, so I won't. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our Linktree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.